Alright, so for this video, I'm going to be listing out my top 10 Humphrey Bogart films. He's an actor who, over the years, I've really come to love, and he was really unique and made a lot of great movies over the years. So, yeah, these are my top 10 favorites. 10, I have The African Queen. It's kind of like a adventure film with these two, and I believe it's in Africa, and they kind of are on a mission to do something, and he owns like this little boat thing, and one cool bonus point too about this movie is that he plays a Canadian guy, so yeah, that got a little extra bonus points for me. All right, my number 9 is Sabrina. It's a Billy Wilder film. It's a really good one, and Humphrey Bogart plays, it's kind of a different role for him. He plays it's kind of like a rich businessman, which he never normally plays things like that. So that was pretty interesting. And the cast is amazing. Obviously, Audrey Hepburn, William Holden, and really well made, like most Wilder films are. And yeah, it's a solid movie. Okay, my number 8 is The Big Sleep. It's like a typical like noir film. He plays like a detective. Really memorable shots and scenes in this. I feel like it's one that would get better and better with more watches. So I think I'll have to watch this one a few more times and see if it grows more on me, because yeah, there's some really memorable parts in this. And my number 7 is another similar film, The Maltese Falcon. It's pretty much similar to The Big Sleep. He plays like a detective, but I think it's slightly better. So many funny lines and like one-liners in this. He just is like banging them off, and yeah, it's really entertaining. And yeah, I feel like it's another one that gets better and better the more you watch it. So with more watches, it might jump up my list. My number 6 is In a Lonely Place. First off, just want to appreciate this picture right here. This amazing cover. But yeah, this one is one that the more I thought about it, the better it got after watching it. And he plays a writer, which is different, and it's like kind of like a noir film, pretty much, and he's like a main suspect for a murder, and but he goes about it in like strange ways, like not a typical way you would react to being suspects or a suspect of a murder. Like he kind of just blows it off, and he kind of plays with the cops, like you almost think, did he do it or not? Like it's hard to tell, but anyways, and also there's a really amazing line in this film that the first time I watched it, I had to rewind and listen to it a few more times because I loved it so much. And then a few months later, on the Criterion Instagram, they posted a picture with that line in the subtitles. And I was like, oh wow, I guess other people really love this line as well. But yeah, so anyways, that's my number 6. My number 5, I have Treasure of Sierra Madre. He kind of plays like this homeless guy and 2 other homeless guys. He doesn't play all 3 of them, but But so it's about three homeless guys who go out looking for treasure, and there's one guy who kind of knows what he's doing, and they're all just out there in the desert looking for this treasure. And it's a really well made film, really well paced, well shot, and kind of just they all get more crazy as it goes along, especially Humphrey Bogart's character. My number 4 is probably most people's number 1, Casablanca. Obviously, it's a classic. Most people, I'm sure, have seen this. My VHS copy is pretty cool here. It has like this little booklet attached and all these cool pictures. But yeah, I mean, not much I have to say about this one, but yeah, it's definitely a classic, definitely good, you know, deserves all the attention. And there's so many lines and stuff in this that have gone down like in history, and everyone, like there's so many lines that as I was watching, I was like, oh wow, like I've heard this before, it's crazy. Yeah, it's a really good one. My number 3 is Dark Passage. This is really unique. The first like half an hour is first person perspective, and then it changes to third person or whatever. And yeah, it's really cool in that way. It's like the first Humphrey Bogart film that I really fell in love with. So it has a little special place in my heart. And yeah, it's just a solid film in my opinion, and really like this one. My number 2 is Key Largo. So it's basically set in this, like, it's kind of like a hotel / motel situation in the Keys. And there's a giant, like, it's kind of like a thunderstorm or a hurricane maybe. So he's locked in this place, but there's this gangster and well, a bunch of these gangsters stuck in there with them, and it's just them dealing with the whole storm, and things get crazy. And so yeah, it's kind of one of those movies where it's all set in one place, but then there's like a finale on a boat, which is really, really well made, and I really, really like that. So yeah, really recommend this one, Key Largo. And my number 1, which is, most people probably are not going to know this film, Conflict. I don't know what it is about this movie, but I just fell in love with it. And yeah, I couldn't get enough of it. It's really well made. He plays like a villain, and he's trying to find a way to like get away with a murder, basically, kind of. And he wants to be with his wife's sister. And I can't really say much more, but yeah, like it's just the twists and turns are just so good. I love them. The imagery I really enjoyed. Just really, really stuck in my head, and I liked just everything, the pacing and just how everything was solved, and just, yeah, all the twists and turns along the way. I just really love this movie. And he plays like kind of a typical Bogart type character, like a villain, but an interesting villain. Yeah, so that's my personal number 1. And then I just want to give a couple quick little shout outs to maybe my 11 and 12. My 11 would maybe be The Petrified Forest. It was like his first kind of role that put him into the public's eye, I would say. And he plays like a real, big villain, gangster. And that, yeah, it's a solid movie. And this would probably be my number 12, The Two Mrs. Carols. Similar film in that he is a real kind of villain type husband who has killed his first wife. But anyways, yeah, it's still a good movie, but nothing compared to Conflict. But yeah, I just wanted to give that one a quick shout out. And yeah, so those are my top 10 Humphrey Bogart films, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you.